Ladies and gents, boys and girls, welcome back to another Wyman video. Is if you're looking for something a little more scale for a smaller truck, a 1.9 truck, whatever, another great way to do it is you just take a leftover 3mm screw. It doesn't matter what head it has on it, just as long as it's a 3mm. Your standard screws, and you buy yourself a cheap, like the horrible fraught style bolt cutters, and you just snip them suckers off, whatever length that you want. So you snip that guy off, and wait, we'll save that. We want that piece, and then you bust yourself out a good old piece of the old school style. I got a whole drawer of the stuff over here, scrap pieces and whatnot. So we'll show you some scrap stuff that I got. And so you bust yourself out a piece of the old brake line, 3/16 brake line, and you buy this at any auto parts store, and the stuff, it's dirt cheap. You cut it. I usually cut it with a pipe cutter, little pipe cutter that, again, you can buy horrible fraught, or Napa sells them. I think the Schmuckuses even has them. I guess they're not Schmuckuses anymore. They're O'Reillys or whatever the hell you want to call them. But yeah, these little guys, throw them on here, pipe cutter, give it a twist with your wrist, get her going, and as you twist around a couple of times, bink, there you go. No fuss, no muss, no mess. And now you're gonna have kind of a pinched end in it that your 3mm isn't going to go into, of course. So you get yourself a couple of these little bits that chuck up into a 1/4-inch drive. Any old 1/4-inch drive will do. You don't have to have anything super fancy. Anything that will handle a 1/4-inch drive will work just fine. And just go nice and slow, and get her opened up, just like so. Bing, bang, boom. And then you drop this guy in here, and what I usually do is I'll get it in there, and then I'll throw a magnet on it. Throw a magnet on there, about like so, to hold it in place. That holds her. And what I generally like to do is take just a little bit of solder and drip a little bit of solder on it, because I don't like to burn my magnets and overheat my magnets. But you drop a little bit of solder on there with your soldering iron, and just get it to stick, and just to hold it in place once you've got it measured out how you want it. Or you can do it however it works best for you. That's what works for me, so that's how I do it. And then you get yourself some brazing rod, some flux-coated brazing rod. And you can get this at just about any welding supply store. Most hardware stores carry it. What I found, though, is you don't want to get the 3/16 stuff, because it's or is it 3/8? I don't remember. The next size up from this is way too big. I use the 1/16, and it works really, really well. And then you get, Walmart carries these, the Homeless Death Spot, ton of those places carry this stuff, the good old MAP gas. And you want to use the MAP gas, not propane. Propane will work, but you're going to be scratching your head, and you're going to be beating stuff against the floor going, what the hell is going on here? Why can't I get it hot enough? Well, it's because propane doesn't get quite as hot as MAP gas does. and this will go really nice and easy with some MAP gas. You know, this is for you guys that don't have a welder or want to go out and buy a welder. I mean, for $50 for a torch and can setup, it works really, really well with the MAP gas. So you get yourself MAP gas, get yourself a few sticks of the 1/16 flux brazing rod. Okay, and you can get this online too. I think Amazon carries it. But then you're just gonna braze the end in there, and then once you've got the end brazed in there, it's gonna look. Come on, focus, please, focus. There we go. It's it's gonna look about like this, and you can do some cleanup and whatnot, and kind of dress it up however you want. But that's the way to do it, and and then your regular rod ends will go on there, and you can use whatever 3mm rod ends you want. And the nice thing about the brake line is it's still pretty stout. It's gonna be more stout than using like a all thread or something like that, the 3mm all thread or the 440 all thread or whatever. That just, I mean, you can bend it with your fingers. It's stupid. That stuff is so weak. I hate that stuff. And there's a ton of guys that build links with it, and I shake my head at them. But they build it with the 440 and then put some sort of sleeve or whatever over it to stiffen it up. But brake line, 3/16 brake line works awesome. And you do it like this, and you can make some really nice links. That's a steering link that I made, and it works great. It's actually, I threw that on there kind of in an oh shit moment of I broke the one that was on there, and I didn't have anything to replace it, so I bent another one up real quick and brazed it together and threw it on there, and went and did the comp and whatnot, and then just haven't pulled it back out of there to paint it back up. And that was a couple of years ago now. I just haven't got around to it. Tons of other things going on. So, these are just quick little tips for you guys that aren't into spending a whole bunch of money. You want to save some money on these little trucks, and not break the bank, and not have your wife after you for spending way too much on it. So these are quick little tips just to help you out to get you beyond some of that stuff. You'd be amazed at how fast all these little links and stuff rack up. You go out and buy an aluminum set from Axial, and they're $59 or whatever for the set, and you're just like, oh my god, that's a lot of money. And it is. Even the plastic ones. I keep the plastic ones around because they're great for building. You just want to throw something together right quick and kind of get a feel for how it's going to stand and get a body on it and where your wheel base needs to be and whatnot. You get a great feel for it. So the plastic ones are great for doing stuff like that. But then when you get right down to it, you're going to build yourself a nice set of links. And that's a good way to do it. So I hope this is helpful for people out there. It's a great way to upgrade your truck real quick, and not, like I say, not spend a bunch of money in it, and you learn something. You learn something every time you try something new. You're gonna learn something, and that's what I really enjoy about this hobby. So tech tips, if there's something that you guys want to maybe see me do, I'm hoping maybe the next video I'll actually show you guys some of the brazing and do some of that actually on screen. If we could maybe build a bumper, I could speed it up and whatnot and keep it under the 15-minute mark. I'll show you some bending techniques for bending links and bending tube for roll cages and bumpers and sliders and whatever else. Hit me up, throw a comment down below and tell me what you guys want to see. Until next time, subscribe and throw in some comments. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, doesn't matter. And keep making cool stuff. All right, guys, have a good night.